Have you ever wondered how nails grow?
No, because I don't eat mine regularly.
Well, then you don't really notice.
Yes,
but
how do your nails grow, Tifa?
I'm not talking about my nails in particular, but just nails in general. Like, do nails grow from No, how do you even explain it? Do nails grow, like, by pushing itself outside?
Do they grow from your thumb, or like from a finger outwards, or do they just extend from where they end?
Yeah, exactly.
And what's the answer, Tifa, now that you know?
The answer is, and I can prove this scientifically, is outwards.
What?
It grows from your finger outside.
From the root outwards.
It pushes itself out of your body, so it's basically bone protruding out of your flesh.
I don't think
into
it's
the
bone
open.
technically.
I think nail counts as bone, does it not?
Are nails bones?
Or is it only teeth that counts as bone? Oh, it does not.
Are nails considered bone? No, bones are made up of collagen and calcium phosphate, whereas nails are made from keratin.
Oh, shame.
So, would you like to present your scientific research?
Would have been kind of cooler if it was bone.
Would you like to present your scientific research?
Bones are made out of bone cells. So if I just put some bone cell on here... Anyway, First, as the talk, while I was in the Netherlands, I made a friend who is the owner of a salon that does like...
Tell the truth! You made a friend, the friend is a dog.
Oh, that's rude to her. No, I did make a friend with the dog, and then I befriended the owner of the dog because she couldn't get rid of me, basically, because I kept being around her dog. And she has a salon who does like eyelashes and fingernails, and she offered to do my nails once. And I'm a nail biter, so she put this stuff on there, which is impossible to bite through, basically. And as you can see, like when she put it on here and there too, I had very tiny little nails. But now you can see
traces of nails.
Traces of nails. And now you can see the edge where it has started growing. So my nails are getting longer again. And this is the scientific proof that it pushes out of your finger because the little bits of nail polish she had put on to make me stop biting my nails.
Look at this beautiful Growlithe to reset the camera back on my wonderful face.
Poor woman, you kind of know.
Yep.
She does not know what madness she got herself
Stop
into.
Playing with your nails.
I'm not playing with my nails, I was playing with that.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Now, let's do hand holding. The internet loves that.
So now I have to go through what she calls the ugly phase before I can actually have my nails done.
You don't have an ugly face. She's so rude.
Thank you. Because this does look kind of weird now, but it's also effective. Even though this stuff you should not be able to bite through, I have managed to bite through here in this corner, which is why that one looks a little bit weirder.
Why would you do that?
But I felt so bad because it kind of felt like her efforts were wasted. So I'm
pretty sure if you chew through that, the dog will be sad.
So I didn't anymore, which means it's still effective. So maybe after this, I should actively get my nails done, just so that I don't bite them, because then I paid for it, and it's a waste to actually bite them. I think the answer
lies in the heart of the cards.
No, the answer to my problem was my Dutch cheapness all along.
Okay.
Because if I paid to have my nails done, it would be a waste to bite them off.
Fair. But, you know, in the past, there have been times where I did your nails and that wasn't enough either.
Dude, you filed them. Like, that is the worst feeling ever.
Because you can't do that. Because you die when you try to file your own nails.
Yeah.
So I held her down and I did it for her. Because that's the kind of love I'm willing to disperse. You know, I'm willing to be the bad guy to give her a better life. Anyway, welcome in everybody. How are you all doing? Tifa, thank you so much for a 115 stream streak.
Oh, wow, that is amazing.
That's disgusting. Where were you the other hundreds of times?
Yeah, I once broke my streak and I don't know how.
Because Twitch gonna be Twitch. Welcome in Psycho. Hello Yaya. Hello everybody. How are you all doing?
How's your weekend been? You guys aren't ready for episode 7 peak.
Is it peak or is it peem? Because if it's peak, that's one less.
I'm looking forward to what episode 7 will bring. So far...
I'm assuming that wasn't a typo when in the last stream you kept saying it was peem. Okay, fair. Right. Cool.
So far, nothing has beat episode 5. And I really don't think anything will beat episode 5.
We have beaten episode
honestly.
5.
But I look forward to what episode 7 will bring. Maybe a bit more questions.
I would hope for answers instead of questions.
Well, I might now save that just for episode 8.
Possibly. We'll find out. You know that meme with the acrobatic woman on top and the guy below doing 10 different moves? Just like that, but with Tifa's... Kind of. Yeah, no, I feel that.
I don't know the meme. I'm gonna look it up if I don't forget. But it does sound very... Accurate.
Ranger coming in, getting the accurate high emote. Nice. You deserve it. Welcome in.
How are you doing, Ranger?
Epic Store blessed me with a good game for once. Oh, what are they giving away currently?
I did not even see the notification.
Epic Game Store current...
We have a bot on Discord that pings when there's a new free game.
I haven't checked actually.
But I did not see...
Backpack Hero. I have never heard of that game before. Backpack Hero. Looks cute enough.
Oh, I think I just missed
Looks weird. Not in a good way, not in a bad way. It's I have no idea what that game is about kind of thing.
I claim almost every game anyway. Just so that I have it, you know what I mean?
Perfect second monitor content. Psycho, get yourself a third monitor. And you can backpack hero while you backpack hero. Imagine Slave Aspire but packing your items. I would have to try to imagine Slave Aspire because I haven't played it. And I don't recall ever seeing anybody play it either. I know it exists.
The name sounds very familiar.
It's somewhat popular. But do I have Slave Aspire? Probably from some bundle. No.
Oh, you don't even have
I don't even own Slave Aspire.
Show me the store page while I read it.
Oh my god.
Episode 5 was great. Episode 6 was too good.
And you guys aren't ready for episode 7. Its content is impossible to predict. You are not ready.
Okay.
Alright.
That's high words. I look forward to it.
High words?
Yeah.
Those are normal words.
No.
It's high praise.
No,
I look forward to it.
I was thinking of saying high praise, but high praise didn't feel like it fit.
Now I know why I don't own Slave Aspire. We fused card games and roguelikes together. Yeah, that's not for me. It looks like it could be fun.
I like the art style.
But card games and roguelikes are like... I leave that for other people. I think the only card games I enjoy are the Mega Man Battle Network games. And even then I could do without it.
Pokemon? Oh, Rogue. Never mind.
What? Yes, there is a Pokemon trading card game and that's fun too, I guess. But that's different.
Yeah, I know. I only understood as in the only card games I enjoyed.
Oh, and you were thinking of like traditional card games and stuff?
Well, that Pokemon trading game, I filtered out the Rogue part.
Uno disrespect. Sorry, see, I was excluding traditional board games with cards. Uno is fun.
And Go Fish.
No, Go Fish is... How do I put this? Go Fish against another person might be fun. I had to play Go Fish with Tifa on stream once when we did the Spy Fox games. A long time ago.
Was it Spy Fox or
Spy Fox,
Fish?
The first Spy Fox game had Go Fish.
Okay.
And I kept losing, and you had to play it for us, and then you won.
So we also played it IRL.
I've won once, and I'm pretty sure Tifa let me win that time.
Nah, you win like 1 out of 10.
That's what I'm saying. Go Fish is... I can't do it. I don't know why. My brain doesn't brain when I have to play Go Fish. But that's the same case for most games including or involving cards. Somehow there's just some part of my brain that just shuts off when it's about that. So I don't like card games generally. And I blame the cards, not my fault. Ever.
I do really enjoy like card games, board games. I even learned that at work there is a board game club. And I was considering...
But if they're bored, why don't they just do something else? I'm on a roll today. I'm on fire with bad puns. Sorry.
And I was thinking of joining, but then everything is in German. And that costs extra mental effort.
But the games will probably be the same.
The games will probably be the same.
I don't think Uno suddenly turns to Eins!
Yeah, but like...
Sprich Deutsch, Hunso! Exactly. You can't not do it. You cannot not do it.
But I really don't like playing games in German because it's already harder to keep up with a conversation. Sometimes I need to think of the answer I want to say, or it doesn't work what I want to say.
Wait, you only think before you speak when it's in German?
Yeah, and then even still I talk.
But
I need to think
much.
sometimes of like the translation or how I say it properly, and then sometimes a moment is gone, and having to constantly translate things is mentally exhausting.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Sometimes, because like at home we speak English to one another. On stream we speak English 99.9% of the time. And most of the media I consume is in English too. So sometimes I find myself sitting in a meeting and have an amazing line to say. It would be the deepest insights. And then I have the line in English. And I cannot think of the right words in German. And then the moment is gone. And it's really hard to be in like a business setting meeting and go, can we go back to the point from 4 minutes ago that you were discussing? By the way, I wanted to say this. You know,
yeah, but that's kind of how it is, especially at work. I speak a mix of English, German and Dutch. The German is very...
I feel like you always do that anyway.
I suppose, but at work it's different.
Fair enough.
There's a difference in casual speaking and in business/technical language.
Yeah, I feel that.
Which, especially in German, is way more exhausting.
Because the words are longer.
The words are longer.
They just take more time to say.
You have to think about the right order.
Science. Wissenschaft. So exhausting.
And then you also have to do like the small talk, and already small talk is kind of exhausting, and I don't know, the thought of it makes me like I want to play, but I can't join.
It's okay.
Like we have a trainer at the gym who also likes to play video games, and I would like to play with him. Like we've talked about playing games together, but it's like, I told him too, like, you speak German. I don't play games in German.
Well, that's what you've got me for. I play them in English with you.
Exactly.
I feel like I just realized that's that one hidden cornerstone of this relationship, and if it wasn't for this, I might be very replaceable.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Straight in the feelings. Straight in... That feeling when you've been on the internet so long you mastered English by cultural osmosis. Isn't that just how you technically master any language? Because, I mean, yes, the first steps usually are you learn some of the vocabulary, then you learn some grammar, and then you figure out how to say the things you want to say and you take it from there. But ultimately, you learn a language by speaking it.
We all started with buying girlfriend. on RuneScape.
Buying GF. Can I sell GF? No, I wouldn't. Wouldn't do it.
I've sold my services as a girlfriend on RuneScape several times. At some point I had like 6 husbands, 3 fiancés. It was so much hard work. Ah, those were the good times, man.
So you have already lived your harem route.
I absolutely have.
Carry on. Stream is yours.
I was just thinking, like,
only runes. Yes.
it was so much fun.
I'm mentally forcing myself, like, I don't know if you can tell this, you can probably tell from the fact that I'm basically buffering IRL right now. Mentally, I am telling myself, yes, she did this, but she sits next to you right now, Jack. She chose you. Despite it all, she chose you.
In RuneScape, you also have
And
this...
she just ignores the fact.
No, that's right, that's correct. In RuneScape, you also have this super pretty little church, which is on a hill, overlooking the beach, the water, like some palm trees. It's super nice. And then every time it's like, oh, have you ever been to this church? No. Let's get married there. Okay. And then we throw a party there. And then the next one's like, oh, let's get married in this church. Do you know it? No? Okay. Oh, it was so much fun.
Okay, I'm not even going to ask what you got out of all of this. I don't think I want to know the answer. I just want to point out to the world real quick. Swap these again. Very early on in our relationship, Tifa told me that she doesn't believe in marriage. She doesn't deem it necessary.
Yeah, I've already been married like 8 times.
And that even if she were to ever marry, it would not be in a church with like a party and everything.
Who are you gonna invite?
That wasn't the point. Just you, because you're the only one that matters.
You have 2 family members. Maybe one friend.
Technically, I have more than 2 family members. I know they exist, but I've never met them. And I keep choosing to not meet them.
So we would hire a church.
Rent, you don't hire a church.
Sorry. We would rent a church.
Yeah?
For 3 seats.
I don't know if you can tell, but she is silently giggling because she is jiggling. I can feel her vibrating through the floor. Carry on, yeah? Twist the dagger. Keep going. Yeah, say what you wanted to say.
No, but like actual marriage, I wanted to. We just never made a step for it in the past 5 years because it turns out it's very stressful.
The accent is coming back. It's very stressful.
Yeah, it really is. Like in RuneScape, I just go, hey, I'm getting married. It's on this day at this hour. Come to the church here. And then everyone shows up and we have cake and there's a little party and then it's over.
That's literally what it's like in real life too.
No, because we gotta have the wedding in Germany, and then your dad's gonna drive, pick up my family, and goes up and down for 6 times.
But
then we have the name argument.
But the beautiful thing is we don't have to do these things. We're adults, we can do what we want.
Yeah, that's true, but it comes with the extra stress of having to deal with them.
But you don't have to, you can just do what you want.
Oh,
you just feel like you have to do these things.
Honestly, I would get married for the tax benefits. And then I would get married on a Monday morning. Because it's free on Monday mornings, by the way. like, that's my sort of wedding, you know what I mean?
Sometimes you might ask yourself, Jack seems kind of like a dick sometimes, just randomly. Like sometimes I cannot really tell why he is acting standoffish or weirdly competitive or just kind of just generally dickish to Tifa. It's because I know things like these. I'm just gonna have a sip of water over here.
Yeah, but we can't throw a big wedding. We don't even know enough people for a big wedding.
You can rent people.
Even with my family, we would get to like 30 people max.
30? I don't even know 30 people in your family. I'm not gonna invite people that I've never met just because they're family.
Okay, don't wait.
Invite Chad, surely that would never go wrong. Amazing idea, Yaya.
Okay, then let's narrow it down to 15.
I don't know 15 people in your family.
Oh, 15 people in my family.
Don't?
Yes, you do. It just seems like...
Do they keep standing behind each other or what? Do they keep hiding? I don't know 15 people in your family.
You have my grandparents. That's 3.
Yeah.
My mom.
That's 4.
Brother.
5.
Sister.
6.
Husband.
7.
Maybe +1. No, let's keep the +1s
7.
out of it. So we're at 7.
Yeah.
My aunt. My nephew.
8. 9.
My cousin.
10.
The kids.
13. Exactly, she can't even bring it up to 15. Yeah? Oh, the dog and the lady that did my nails, because we're now friends like that too.
Plus the dog, that's 15. The dog can be a flower maiden.
That would be really cute, actually.
See?
Actually, it wouldn't be cute because that dog is bigger and stronger than me. And I don't like pets like that.
It is absolutely adorable.
I'm just gonna put this away and pretend we never had this conversation in front of a camera. So...
I would absolutely be for, what do you even call it in English? Eloping?
We just run away and get married?
Yeah.
Sure, where?
Las Vegas.
It's so cliche. In one of those like drive-in things.
Cliche isn't always bad. And then I want to go to the slot machines.
You will, Tifa, at some point, maybe in like 5-6 years, potentially, we can go do a trip all across the USA. Maybe in 5 or 6 years, not currently. And we will go to Las Vegas. You will not be allowed to be on your own anywhere near gambling.
No. That is on my bucket list. Going to Las Vegas and be one of those ladies who spends the entire day behind a slot machine. If I go to Las Vegas, I will spend 1 full day on those stupid slot machines.
You're not gonna waste our precious lifetimes going... Click. Ding,
yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
Slot machines aren't that expensive. I'm gonna look up how much.
No, Tifa, but it takes forever and you're still throwing away money.
That's why I spend a whole day on a slot machine.
See,
I want to be a slot machine lady sitting in line with all the other slot machine ladies in Las Vegas.
you can't just call them slots.
Oh yeah, and true. We can invite Chad to the wedding.
True.
We can live stream our wedding.
No. I severely doubt that. Callie and I looked in a Starbucks. See, why not? I've lost money at Vegas before. Yeah, and do you hear this? Tifa wants to spend an entire day losing money at slots, which are rigged AF.
Average money spent slot machines in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, not Las Vegas.
Oh.
Oh my god. She doesn't even know the name of the place.
The average Vegas tourist gambles $150 per day.
Imagine taking $150 and doing something fun with it.
Oh, how much should I spend on slot machines?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's a video.
Please turn that off, Tifa. Make that go away. Close that tab, please.
1% of your total bank account.
Go fuck yourself.
1%?
No.
Nothing.
It's not like that's a ton of money, but no. That's still 1%. No.
Well, whatever.
She has now closed the tab. I feel slightly safer.
We're gonna do it anyway.
You get 30 minutes of just pressing the same buttons on the same slot machines.
Ranger, let's do the slots at Las Vegas.
You know what's also a gamble, and you'll always lose this one? Asking Tifa. Hey Tifa, please would you kindly recap the entire story of Higurashi so far?
What? The entire story?
Yeah.
I wasn't really prepared for that.
It's too bad.
So, we finished the what ifs in the last one and...
No, that's not the question.
Yeah, but that means we're gonna start chapter 7 today, which is why we're recapping the complete chapter 6 right now, which focuses on Reina losing her mind this time because she believes Takano's scrapbooks...
Please stop.
I was doing a short version.
No, that's horrible.
Okay, fine, you do a short version then. You get like 2 minutes.
Higurashi tells the story of Keiichi Maebara, who moves from Tokyo to the quaint village of Hinamizawa. He goes to school there. It's a mixed school, which is kind of weird, but he makes a bunch of friends. Some are older than him, some are way younger than him. There is Mion Sonozaki, who also turns out to be the Empress of the Sonozaki Yakuza group. There is Reina Ryugu, who has a somewhat dark and twisted past.
I feel like this is a bit too basic.
Ripe with mental well-being issues after her parents split up way back when. There is Satoko Hojo, whose family appears to be cursed because everybody dies one way or another at some point. I hate you.
What?
And then there is Rika Furude, who is the current shrine maiden of a Furude shrine and appears to be in some sort of relationship with the local guardian deity Oyashiro-sama. Can she see him? Can he possess her? We don't know. Things are happening. Chapter 1 has Keiichi learn about the secret dark past of Hinamizawa, where one of the dam workers there got dismembered. He freaked out. Eventually his friends injected him with a miracle drug and he clawed his own throat out. Weird. Chapter 2 had Mion introduce had the story introduce Mion's twin sister, Shion. They have a weird relationship dynamic, with Shion and Mion kind of being like swapped out at some point in their lives. So technically Shion is the one that's supposed to be...
You don't know that in chapter 2.
Is supposed to be the one that's supposed to take over. It's kind of weird. Anyway, Keiichi doesn't give a doll to Mion at some point. She snaps, or maybe she doesn't. Maybe it was Shion. You don't know it in chapter 2, and you will never know it in chapter 2. And he gets almost tortured to death, and then basically everybody dies, and he sees a zombie ghost at the end, and potentially dies. Chapter 3. Which one was chapter 3?
Chapter 3 was Satoko.
As Keiichi semi-adopting Satoko after learning more about her tragic past and her brother potentially killing her aunt and then leaving them for good or being demoned away. That's a concept that works in Hinamizawa because they have an annual festival called the Watanagashi, the Cotton Drifting Festival. Every Watanagashi for the past 4 years, somebody died and somebody vanished without a trace. Last year it was Satoko's brother Satoshi. Getting some bonding time with Satoko, Keiichi basically becomes her new Nini, her big brother. He starts looking out for her. He then decides to kill her uncle because he's an abusive piece of shit. But then the body goes missing, everything is really weird. He wishes the town would die after lots of shenanigans. And so the town does, because there's a volcanic gas eruption suddenly. Chapter 4 is a prequel with a Tokyo security police officer guy named Akasaka being sent to Hinamizawa to investigate the kidnapping of the grandson of the Minister of Construction, leading into the whole dam construction thing. Eventually they rescue the kid. However, his wife dies in childbirth. He goes back to spend time with his family. And we learn that the gas eruption thing actually apparently did happen, and Akasaka wants to find out what the actual truth about all of these things is. Chapter 5 tells us a prequel-ish story to chapter 2, set from Shion's perspective. shedding some more light on her relationship with Mion, how they keep swapping places every now and then, her relationship with Satoshi, because she was kind of having feelings for him. And that's basically it. Chapter 6 is a retread of Chapter 1, but kind of with the roles of Keiichi and Reina swapped. Reina eventually loses her mind over the circumstances that are presented to her, but Keiichi manages to save her, bring her back from the brink of her total delirium by having an epic anime fight on top of a school roof. And after that is over, you get told, yeah, there is actually no happy end here because the next day everybody died anyway because the volcanic gas eruption happened. And now we're in Chapter 7. I still don't know why all of this is happening. Potentially there is some connection through Oyashiro-sama because there have been multiple hints that there is a world of possibilities, a world of tragedies, a maze without an exit.
Well,
and
Rika
every
has
time
literally said that every single, or that she has already died 100 deaths trying to get to a certain point.
That is true. Stuff is happening and we are still trying to figure out why they are. That's the recap. Stream is buffering for me. That is not just you, that is happening here too. Twitch is being Twitch again. How many dropped frames do you see on OBS? 1,751 currently. Tifa, I hate doing this so early, but how about we take a short break and hopefully Twitch will fix itself in the meantime, and then we can go into Chapter 7 fresh after the recap.
Sounds like a good plan. BRB.
Let's try it. The curse of Oyashiro-sama striketh again. BRB hopefully buffering free. We're back.
Wow, that's my line.
I am having an eye on things. Sorry about the buffering. Minagoroshi, the final truth. Massacre chapter. This story introduces the unit inside and out using all the actors. This is no longer a story, it's a public autopsy for all to join. As they say, after loving someone, cut open their belly and eat their organs. It's the same with stories. The difficulty is quite mild, well suited for those with pride. I find that so weird.
Okay, but now it says that the difficulty is mild. At some of the others it was like hard. So I'm not sure.
And with others said it's
it
easy
means.
and it's not like there is difficulty really because it's a visual novel.
I haven't really got the setting yet, but using all the actors.
Huzzah! I keep peeking over here. It looks like we've recovered. I want to blame, playfully, I want to blame Summer Games Done Quick having started earlier today. So, Twitch. Servers.
It wouldn't be the first time that has crashed.
Yeah, I mean,
Crashed
kudos
the
to them.
servers.
I'm super happy that, you know, something that raises money for good causes has that amount of influx, but anyway, let's do this. You ready, Tifa?
I think I'm ready.
That children's laugh is so weird. It's so weird.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm feeling Oyashiro-sama.
What are you doing? I don't see you playing by yourself that often.
No, we're usually with the two of us.
All you could do before was to nod to my questions. Since when do you have your own will? I'm glad. I finally have a sister or a brother. Whichever you are. I used to be an existence of nothingness just like you. But one day I began to have my own identity, my own thoughts, and eventually my own body. So it's not a surprise to see you in possession of your own will. Welcome to this vast yet tiny world, my sister. You might be my brother, but let me call you my sister until I know for sure. This is an endless, eternal, and infinite world. That doesn't mean it's boundlessly vast. I suppose You could describe it like a ring with a small diameter.
I don't know why, but I'm feeling intro to Pokemon, and at this point Professor Oak will start, "Are you a boy? Or are you a girl?"
Yeah.
And then you type in your name.
Well, the ring is an eternal, endlessly looping world. That doesn't mean it contains infinite space. Yes, in short, this world is eternally sealed. The future is supposed to be an infinite weave of countless choices, yet for whatever reason our world always ends in death. If I were to compare it to something, perhaps a maze of fate would be appropriate. Looping through the same moments forever steadily grows harder and more dejecting, eventually producing something like me. Then, as that draws further on, even one like you is born, and eventually this world may be filled with your sisters too. After that, we'll build a colony inside of it, and once we lose our interest in this maze, Rika Furude will disappear from this world. It looks like you still cling to this narrow world, Rika. Though I lost interest long ago. Which is why I'm truly glad you were born for me to talk to.
It is Oyashiro-sama.
So, what are you doing? Are you collecting fragments of memory? There's only 5 or 6 of them right now. It must still be fun for you, though. There used to be more fragments long ago, but one by one they disappeared into the darkness. Now these are the only ones that remain clear. No, that's not how you're supposed to use it. See? Try and hold it up to the light. All of that is the life of Rika Furude and its end.
So every fragment is a chapter, basically.
This is... I think I like it. Also, they really leveled up their graphics department again, because...
Animation more.
We went from classic visual novel fare like 1 character, 2 characters, text and music to a 3D kaleidoscopic prism kind of thing. That one is... oh, I remember that one. That's the world when Keiichi was cursed. Those fragments are like books to me, so I titled that one the Onikakushi chapter. Do you remember what happened in that one?
Thanks to the recap, I do.
Good. That makes things easier. In case you wanted to see if my recap from earlier was worth its salt, the game's doing one for us. I appreciate the hell out of that. In Onikakushi, Keiichi Maebara was consumed by the darkness. He couldn't accept the kind words his friends offered him and eventually beat them to death, not knowing of their kindness. We were all killed after that anyway. That had nothing to do with his story though.
It's a tesseract? Is that what the thing is called?
Yeah, that's also the thing from those Marvel movies.
Trying to make a cube.
The first Infinity Stone they found.
Oh. Somehow my brain cannot cube. I like make a 3D cube.
It looks like you're trying to very badly cosplay Naruto characters. Tesseract no Jutsu! And then suddenly actually one appears. First Infinity Stone was America's ass. That doesn't sound healthy though. That fragment is the Watanagashi chapter. Shion Sonozaki was cursed in that one. She killed many people out of revenge for her boyfriend's disappearance as he went missing in 1982. It would have been fine if it was 1983. Rika worked so hard, but she was captured at the end and she was tortured to death. That's why she chose to commit suicide in the Meakashi chapter, because things were going to turn out the same way. The fragment over there is called the Tatarigoroshi chapter. Satoko's uncle came back and locked her up inside her house. That was the worst world of all. There was nothing Rika was able to do in that world. Whenever Satoko's uncle comes back, Rika usually just gives up on that world. Unfortunately, Satoko's uncle doesn't come back that frequently. That one is called the Tsumihoroboshi chapter. Rika was there until just a moment ago. Reina Ryugu was possessed in that world. It was pretty exciting to see her take over the whole school.
But possessed by what? Aliens.
It surprised me to learn that Keiichi Maebara had a memory of the other worlds just like we do. It was pretty amazing, but then again, most of us have some kind of memory like that. We all have an imaginary world within us, some idea of what would have happened if you did things differently. It's like the strange feeling you get when you do something for the first time, but it feels like you've done it before. Everyone has a memory of an imaginary world in their mind, but the memory is not always that clear. It's not surprising, really. You are special enough to be able to see those fragments of memory. It's probably very difficult for you to understand how special you really are. You were born into a world where it's a natural thing for you to see these fragments. I was originally born in the normal world. I didn't know until recently that I could collect these fragments of memory. You grabbed those fragments just because you could, but I didn't know how to do that for a long time. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're not interested in hearing my story. Actually, yes, please. I would like to spend the entire chapter with just that. Huh? What's wrong? What are you curious about? Oh. You're curious as to why so many different incidents occur in the same world. It's very interesting, isn't it? Why do you think that's the case? Let's think about it together. Thinking is the first step towards playing a game.
What do you mean I need to think?
The main character among Rika's group of friends is Keiichi Maebara. In Onikakushi, he was possessed by suspicion and killed Reina Ryugu and Mion Sonozaki. If that was an inevitable event, he would be killing them in every world. In other words, what Keiichi Maebara did in Onikakushi was not inevitable. Indeed, the only thing that's inevitable is Keiichi Maebara's role. If Keiichi Maebara was someone with a naturally suspicious heart, he would take the same actions in every world. But that didn't happen.
Makes sense.
It's true that Keiichi Maebara It's true that Keiichi Maebara is both passionate and easily convinced of anything. But it's rare for him to exhibit the kind of rage he displayed in Onikakushi. In other words, even though something might seem inevitable in one world, that may not be the case if you compare it to a different one. If something really is inevitable, it will happen for sure in every life. That's what true inevitability is like. It's very important that you know that. When you compare the different worlds, what's common among all of them is the truth. We wrote that down.
What did we write down?
We've asked ourselves a bunch of times, what is the truth in the Higurashi games?
Yeah.
Is it the things that is different between all of them? Or is it the things that are the same between all of them? And now, who I assume is Oyashiro-sama just, I guess, confirms it. The truth is what's common among all of them.
Yep, but I don't... Did we write that down?
I think we did.
Okay.
Understand? Like I said, what seems inevitable in one life could just be a random event in another. The club activities that Mion Sonozaki suggests are a good example. If Mion Sonozaki had a strong inclination toward playing certain games, you would be playing them in every world. But in reality, you participate in different activities in most of them. That means that the games they play in the club are randomly decided by Mion Sonozaki. We know that now because we've been through many different lives. Those who only live in one world can't see if the event in question is inevitable or random. those who only live once can't predict what's going on in Mion Sonozaki's mind. But we can. Although the activities are random, Mion Sonozaki calls us together for the club meeting almost every day in every life. I can see that Mion Sonozaki holds a strong will towards having the club meeting. Mion Sonozaki always wants to play with the other club members, but she doesn't know what to play. See? We can read Mion Sonozaki's mind just by simply examining these fragments. With this alone, we can see part of who Mion Sonozaki really is. Let me talk a bit more about Keiichi Maebara. For those who only live once, the world of the Onikakushi chapter is nothing but a story where Keiichi suffered mysterious hallucinations and beat his friends to death. For them, there's nothing beyond that fact. We, however, can compare different fragments and find out something they could never see. As a result, we know that the murder of his friends was not inevitable. I told you that just earlier. In fact, while there are about 5 or 6 pieces in front of you, he only kills his friends in one of them. That means we can roughly conclude that the possibility Keiichi Maebara triggers the tragedy is less than 20% and is almost a fluke. This means that amongst the countless worlds Keiichi Maebara causing the tragedy is an unimportant factor. Now, can you find the common thread to be drawn from here? You found it already! No wonder you were born in this world. You're quick to learn the knack for playing with building blocks. I didn't figure that out for a while. I was born in the normal world, so I could only see things from a single world's perspective. I was too obsessed with the fact that Keiichi Maebara caused the tragedy, so I had trouble finding it. Right, that's exactly it. Right, that's exactly right. You see it? The Onikakushi, Watanagashi, Meiyakashi, and Sumihoroboshi chapters all have something in common. Someone in the group becomes violent because of dark and paranoid thoughts. In each world, either Keiichi Maebara, Shion Sonozaki, or Reina Ryugu became violent as their delusions grow stronger. Keiichi Maebara, Shion Sonozaki, and Reina Ryugu are all my close friends, but they were all born and raised differently. The only common factor is that they all live in Hinamizawa. I just said it not too long ago, though. When we peer through these fragments of multiple worlds, the constant phenomena become our facts, and the chance phenomena hold little meaning. In other words, the unrelated, individual culprits are not all that important. To go further, the violence of their crimes also bears no meaning. Keiichi Maebara beat his friends to death. Shion Sonozaki killed the central people of her 3 families. And Reina Ryugu took over the school. They were all different. There's nothing in common there. In fact, the very, very important truth is that while the culprit and crimes are decided at random, their process of growing paranoid until they resort to violence is always constant. The suspect changes every time, but the process does not. After comparing the different worlds, this is the truth I found. This is one truth that is common to all the worlds of Hinamizawa. The rule is that a random person becomes violent under the influence of paranoid thoughts. This is Rule X. That's my least favorite rule, by the way. It took you too long.
That did take me too long.
Keiichi Maebara, Shion Sonozaki, and Reina Ryugu. Pieces with no particular connection have a potential to succumb to that rule with random probability. I don't know what the probability is that those pieces will be ensnared by that rule. Perhaps there's some rule to that too. Is it because these three are all close in age? Or is it because they all live in Hinamizawa? Well, we're not detectives or police officers. This is not something that a small girl like us, Rika Furude, can easily figure out. At least we now know that there's a mysterious rule in the world of Hinamizawa. People who only live in one world have no way of knowing that. I'm proud of myself for figuring that out. I guess for you it's not particularly surprising, though. Huh? What did you say? That's right. If something is common among all worlds, that means it's fated to happen. Some events quickly come to mind, don't they? Right. Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano were always killed in those worlds. So they will just keep dying then.
Well,
Our home smells like bacon. That's the best smell.
It definitely is.
Aw, you're invited to stay here on your tour of America in a few years, should this country still exist. I mean,
I have full hope you will get through the next couple of years.
Ranger,
Thank you.
First of all, thank you. That is super sweet.
We're absolutely coming to visit.
And even if it doesn't, we will just have to smell bacon somewhere else. You were saying?
I don't remember what I was saying.
There's a lot of monologuing happening.
Also, this doesn't feel, from the little bits of oyashiro-sama that has broken through Rika, this does not feel like oyashiro-sama at all.
Yes, it does.
It does not.
It does.
It does not give off the same feel at all.
100% it does. This isn't Oyashiro-sama talking through Rika. This isn't Oyashiro-sama, an extra-dimensional being speaking through a human to other humans.
Yeah, but there he's a bit more asshole-ish, sarcastic.
Can you blame him?
He's
died hundreds of times and he only has 6 fragments.
I expect that to come true in the inner monologue.
Also,
I don't have a different personality in my inner monologue than when I would be talking to you.
No, I think you're using the wrong example. How do you talk the same way to your family as you do with your colleagues, as you do with your bosses, as you do with your significant other? It's a different social setting. Oyashiro-sama, I don't know what it's like being a god. I mean, close, but no. Oyashiro, assuming this is Oyashiro-sama, because that would make the most sense, is stuck. He has died. Rika, Oyashiro-sama with him, has died hundreds of times. This poor guy is completely dejected. He is stuck. He is trapped inside this tiny circle. He doesn't even get to follow Rika along for 20, 30, 50, 60, whatever a normal lifespan years. He keeps getting to witness, I assume, her birth, blinks of a childhood, and suddenly she's dead.
The question is though, where does that loop end? Because he started saying that he was very happy that Rika was born, because now he is there again.
I have a disgusting thought.
So
I'm gonna write this down.
Good.
I have a really disgusting thought. You ready to hear this?
While Jack is gone though, how's the
buffering been is what Tifa's trying to say.
How has the buffering been? Because we've been going into the red a couple of times so far.
I figure if it gets too bad, people will tell us. Now, are you ready for my grand prediction?
Yes.
Wait, today's date, 6th July. Bad. Thank you for being here regardless.
Well, the question is, how do we want to continue with that? Because this is a story-heavy game.
For now, yes. 6th July. To break the circle of Oyashiro-sama having to live the little bit of Rika's life until she is fated to die, You have to stop playing.
You have to stop playing.
Yeah, yes. You have to stop reading Higurashi.
Oh, like that breaking
The
fourth
only
law.
winning move is to not play. Woven into the meta-narrative of the story. If you want Oyashiro-sama to not be trapped, you have to do the quantum observation thing and just not observe. It's Schrödinger's cat. You only know if Oyashiro-sama is doing shit or suffering from all of this if you observe. If you don't play, there is no Oyashiro-sama. And chapter 8 ends with the beginning of chapter 1 because it's an infinite loop. The murder that starts off chapter 1 is the ending of chapter 8. It's an infinite loop. There are certain things that are random. The games you play, who goes nuts, whatever happens, does it rain, does it not, is it hot, is it cold. All of these things are somewhat random. The constants are Tomitake and Takano dying. That's unfortunate, but they're fated to die here. It sucks, but it is what it is. But the worst constant, the rule above all, is that Rika will die here and Oyashiro-sama keeps trapped with her. Or keeps being trapped with her. Have I sold you on my theory, Tifa?
Why are you writing another one?
Chapter 8 ends with the beginning of chapter 1, forming a perfect circle. So
the first one doesn't make sense because she cannot be fated to die because we've already established that Rika is not... Well, actually she does die. Everyone, technically.
Every single chapter so far she has died.
Yeah, but you say until she is fated to die. She does die every single chapter so far. So in that regard, she is fated to die, but the loop still works.
What are you talking about?
You wrote down, to break the circle of Oyashiro-sama having to live the bit of Rika's life.
You have to stop playing.
Yeah.
Maybe let me finish my line first.
Until she... You started a new one already!
Because you keep interrupting my thoughts. Chapter 8 ends with the beginning of chapter 1. Forming a perfect loop. Because sometimes, just because it doesn't look like it will become a loop, it might still become a loop. That's messed up. Ranger, congrats on being second. Nice.
What he said. Before we continue, I say we take another very short break.
BRB then.
BRB. We're back.
We are.
Let's continue Oyashiro-sama's dialogue.
Oyashiro.
I said Oyashiro-sama.
You have this uncanny ability to mess up characters' names on the last part of a name.
But I definitely said Oyashiro-sama.
Again. Oyashiro-sama.
I've been saying Oyashiro-sama the entire 7 episodes.
Yeah, about 60% of the time you say Oyashiro.
I've never said Oyashiro.
You have.
I don't think I actually have.
If you go back like 90 streams, you will find that in the beginning I tried to correct you and at some point I just stopped.
I think 95% is Oyashiro-sama.
It's like Ryuge-san.
Yeah, but that one I realized.
Do you know?
Most of the time.
On top of that, they are murdered in exactly the same way in every world. In other words, unlike our previous rule with its variability, their murders are thoroughly planned out by someone with a strong will. So, that does not fit with a mysterious, vague Rule X that leads a random individual to violence. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa, not Leviosa. Exactly, Ranger. Thank you for getting it.
That is 100% Jack energy, yes.
After all, they're always murdered regardless of who falls to Rule X. I got you with a buffer curse. We should be back though. Think of it like this. The beauty of us doing a visual novel while Twitch is intermittently shitting itself. If I just take my time with refreshing the screen text, it's like a slideshow. What are you doing? Avocado bravado. Tifa, I don't even know what you call these things, but first of all, you are half out of screen. But
it's the thing from IKEA.
It's one of those tools you usually get when you have to screw something in with cheap furniture, like the stuff we buy. So apparently, this also works for knock-off spells. Therefore, there's another rule to these worlds, a rule that says Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano will get killed on the night of Watanagashi. Let's call it Rule Y. Don't you see how funny this is? I don't actually.
A hex key. Are they actually called hex keys?
That would make sense because this is a hexagonal on the
fair enough.
face.
I call it the IKEA key.
IKEA? It made more sense than that. Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano are killed in every world, right? Every time the character who gets cursed always thinks that their deaths have something to do with the danger that's awaiting them. IKEA.
Yes! See, why didn't you come up with that one?
Because
that one works.
That seems like such simple genius that it's right there. It's just IKEA, yes. But IKEA.
It's literally the IKEA.
11 out of 10.
Full points.
The fact that someone turns violent, Rule X, and Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano's deaths, Rule Y, are supposed to be two independent rules, but they all tend to link them together. Of course, one could say that's how they become ensnared in the spell of paranoia leading them to violence to begin with. But do you think, in their paranoia, that they notice someone is trying to lead them to link those rules together? Yes. Whoever the piece leading them is, they are the one making the stage called Hinamizawa very complicated. You should have noticed at least two suspicious people. Do you know who I'm talking about? Irie? And who?
Ooishi.
Could, yeah, fair. That's right.
Ha! At least I had half right.
Yeah, but actually on the right, that's Irie cosplaying as Mio, so... I'm referring to Kurao Ooishi and Mio Takano. When you compare our previous fragments, the role of a piece known as Kurao Ooishi becomes clear. He is a detective who is retiring this year, and he's in a hurry to solve a mystery of a series of deaths in Hinamizawa. After he retires, he'll have to move away from the village. That's why he's desperate to solve this case before he has to leave Hinamizawa. Why is he so obsessed with his serial murders in Hinamizawa? That's right. It's because of a first murder involving the manager of the construction site. The victim was Oishi's close friend. You will see that if you look at the Himatsubushi chapter. Ooishi was there when the damn conflict was at its peak. I'm sorry, actually I think you mean PEEM. Any cop who says they'll retire after the case is doomed to die. I don't write rules. Fair, that's like every Hollywood movie about that ever.
Yeah, something best not said out loud.
Exactly. He saw how the Sonozaki family took control of the Onigafuchi Guardians, and he believed that the Sonozaki family was pulling the strings behind the whole incident. That's why he always suspected that the Sonozaki family was behind the series of mysterious deaths, regardless of the evidence or lack thereof. His personal, biased belief, combined with his credibility as a police detective, affected the pitiable victims of persecution complexes in each world.
Dark Lord, how are you
It's
doing?
peak. The only thing peak today so far, Dark Lord, is when we're not buffering for a second. We're hitting peaks, we're hitting valleys. It's unheard of. It's crazy. Welcome in, how are you doing? As a result, the pitiful victims of Rule X come to accept the Sonozaki family as the identity of the unknown force their paranoia seeks. Shion Sonozaki's case was the most conspicuous one in that matter. So yes, if this piece, Ooishi, didn't intervene, then perhaps the victims of Rule X wouldn't have resorted to such violence. So the role his piece plays is to indirectly cause the tragedy. I don't know who named him this, but Oyashiro-sama's servant is the perfect nickname for Ooishi. Only movie I've seen go against the trope was Hell or High Water. Don't recall having seen that one.
Somehow
Rings
I can
a
only
bell.
think of a song.
Which one?
No, not that one.
That's a song you hear when you go to one of the rides in that theme park in the Netherlands, the Efteling. And it's just that loop. It's like 7, 8, 9 seconds, and it just repeats and repeats. It's beautiful.
It's a great ride.
You go in there, and at first you're like, oh yeah, this is catchy. After the 800 years the ride takes, because the loop will make you feel that way, you get out of it like
That ride is great.
Yes, it is.
We gotta redo it because they've changed the ride because of all of the racist characters that you come past.
Okay, fair enough.
Basically, it's a ride where you slowly go past several cultures around the world.
It's a small world, but not it's a small world. It's legally distinct. It's a small world.
Hey, the Efteling was first.
Yes, but nobody knows about it. And everybody knows Disneyland, or Disney parks.
Fair enough.
So they removed the racism now. I doubt that.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Apparently.
Sometimes it gets conspicuous and eats up all your crackers and your licorice.
I'm kind of lost to what that was about, but nobody touches my licorice.
And not my crackers. We have a similar ride called It's a Small World at Disneyland World. See? Yes, exactly. It's literally that. Including the racism and it being changed. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying the Dutch were first with it. Okay?
The Dutch did racism first.
We almost invented it, yeah.
You kinda did. The East India Company was the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Basically. I'm not joking. You can look that up. That's historically true. Look it up. Or don't. It's sad. The other suspicious person is Mio Takano. One would assume the only role of her piece is to amuse herself with research into Onigafuchi's dreadful history and to take pleasure in scaring others with those tales. However, just like Ooishi, she also gives them the idea that the Sonozaki family is behind all of the mysterious incidents that happen in the village. So why don't we just kill the two of them? And then we're safe, right? She interfered the most with Reina Ryugu. For Mio Takano, Reina Ryugu was the perfect prey, grasping at straws to try and identify the force she suspected. Why do I think the entire episode 1 of chapter 7 is just Oyashiro-sama recapping it to the other greater being that popped up?
I don't think that will be the entirety of the chapter, but he is giving answers.
Ironically, however, Mio Takano always ends up getting killed at the end. If she had survived and seen Reina take over the school, she would have laughed long and loud. Aliens! Now, have you realized that these two pieces and the roles they fulfill have their own rule too? They talk about the Sonozaki family, and the listeners always believe them. This is Rule Z, and what a humorous rule it is. You should already have an answer to this mystery in your fragments on hand.
What I wonder, by the way, though, Takano, She has hundreds of different theories of what could be happening.
Potentially, yeah.
Do you think she actually believes in all of them? Like she shared a particular notebook with Reina that was about the parasites and stuff after Reina has shared the symptoms that she have, which match the theory she shared. Mm-hmm. Is that something where Takano deep down was then like, oh fuck, this is evidence that this is actually a thing? Because I don't agree with what oyashiro-sama here said, that if he saw Reina take over the school, she would have a long and hard laugh. She might actually have just jumped in and assisted Reina, because this is all now proof that she was actually correct with one of her theories.
Possibly. Maybe she is so far gone that she just has something for all of them.
Because this might have been the first time where she actually had something from someone else, besides her own crafting ideas, that pinpointed her towards her being right in her mind.
Or like 2 broken clocks being right about the time twice a day.
Basically.
Possibly, yeah. Like there's suddenly synergy, they feed into each other.
I think that's how it would have continued on.
Possibly. Dark Lord, thank you for the 7 stream streak. That's
it.
Our Takano. How will she fuck up next? She will find ways. I think that's rule A. That's another constant amongst these. The fact is that the Sonozaki family always acts as if they are responsible, no matter if they are or not. They always pretend to be the villains in order to make sure that people continue to fear them. As a result, the villagers have believed that the Sonozaki family has been pulling the strings ever since the damn conflict ended. Kurao Oishi and Mio Takano were simply fooled by that rule. Actually, the whole village is fooled by it. Twitch must be showing off its muscles with all the poof a ring. Ever since Jeff Bezos got some spare time and became a lean, mean money machine, maybe.
It's not, it's they.
Still, the more I think about it, the stranger the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa seems to me. Do you know why? Nearly all of the fragments of memories we have here are from 1983. So I have no idea about the incidents from 1980 to 1982. But it's likely that interpreting these murders as serial is simply a result of falling victim to Rule Z, believing that the Sonozaki family is pulling the strings behind everything. In short, they may be trying to conflate those multiple crimes, which each happen for different reasons, into one big case. Well, I have no way of discerning the truth from the fragments here. Still, perhaps something lies in one of them. Each case was supposed to have been solved individually, after all. We don't know if that theory is sound or irrational, but it might surprisingly be an element we can't ignore. That reminds me, Shion said something intriguing in the Meyakashi chapter. That curse system she came up with. Do you remember that? Before we go into the curse system, I think we just got a hint. Nearly all of the fragments of memories we have here are from 1983. Why is that, Tifa?
When was 1983?
That's the year leading up to... No, wait. When did the first murder happen? What year is it now? 83. 80, 81, 82, 83. I thought he came here in 85. I think I'm confusing it again with Shenmue.
When did Keiichi move?
I forgot. I think 85. But that doesn't make sense, because when nearly all the fragments of memories we have here are from 1983, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but if Keiichi moved to town in 1983, it makes sense, because then Keiichi is a trigger which made the differences and why the fragments were stored. If the years before that basically all went the same, there's no point in keeping them. But maybe with Keiichi stepping into the scene, that might have been a trigger which makes the fragments of memories appear or stick around or stay or whatever.
Possibly. Also, I don't agree with, it doesn't matter who it happens to. Because there are more constant things. There is always the 4 kids. 5 if you count Shion. There hasn't been a single history where there wasn't Keiichi, Rika, Mion, Reina, Satoko, and Shion, potentially. So I think that's another connecting thing. Things, for some reason, just get really bad when the 5 of them are together.
Yeah, but it follows the same story.
Possibly. That curse system she came up with. Do you remember that? Her theory was that the villagers believe that they are allowed to kill an enemy of the village on the night of Watanagashi in the name of Oyashiro-sama's curse, and that this foundation of murder is allowed on that night alone is the true identity of a curse. Since most of the fragments here are from 1983, there's nothing to back the validity of Shion's theory, but there are still interesting things about it. In other words, her theory is that the suspect is not the one who's committing the crime. It's the environment that's causing the murder. People in a single world tend to analyze a criminal's life to determine the process that led them to the crime, but her idea is different. The real crime is committed not by the criminals, but by the environment. In other words, it may only be happenstance that robber A committed the crime, and the environment of poverty may have created robber B instead, or perhaps even robber C. A may not even be a criminal in another world. Therefore, the real criminal is not A, but the environment that creates A, B, or C. And while people in a single world may be able to reach such an idea, the widespread desire to place blame commonly causes. And while people in a single world may be able to reach such an idea, the widespread desire to place blame commonly causes A to be lynched by society, while the environment that gave rise to A goes ignored. Did I confuse you? I'm sorry. Perhaps that example was actually harder to understand for you. It's easy for me to see it like that because I'm from the normal world. Let me make it simpler for you. The culprit behind the tragedy in many worlds isn't individuals like Keiichi Maebara or Shion Sonozaki, but the environment. So Rule X is the true culprit at fault. You're earning good marks if you can grasp that, even if we don't know the identity of Rule X. And if you can grasp the 3 rules governing this stage, called Hinamizawa, rules X, Y, and Z, then you're earning very good marks. So long as you understand those rules, then even if this is your first experienced world, you should easily find the truth without distraction. See? Isn't it fun? Merely 3 simple rules are interacting on the stage, creating a kaleidoscope of different worlds. This is probably a very unusual case. In other locations, you shouldn't be able to see such extreme variation even after looping through several worlds. It keeps me entertained just staying here and watching these worlds revolve. Anyway, there's one more fact we can understand from these fragments of worlds. We saw Keiichi fix things mostly last time. True.
A little bit. He didn't fully got to fix it, but he had a good attempt at temporarily fixing the cracks.
But he didn't change he didn't affect the rules enough to avoid the ultimate disaster. He just stopped one.
But yes, but he changed it enough to probably prevented several deaths.
True, I guess.
Also, the past few minutes have been really annoying from the corner of my eye. If it does become unbearable, just give a shout in chat, please.
This is the biggest problem we Rika Furudes are facing. The fact that Rika Furude always dies each time. It's as if June 1983 is a dead end for her. Worse, there's no randomness to it, it's guaranteed to happen. In other words, it's the same pattern as the deaths of Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano. It's following the exact same rule, Rule Y. Tomitake Jiro and Takano Mio are always murdered on the night of Watanagashi. Furude Rika's date of death is not always the same, but she's always dead by the middle of June. Jiro Tomitake and Mio Takano are probably attacked on their way home, so that's why it always happens on the same night. But for Rika Furude it's different. She takes different actions in every world and her lifestyle is very unpredictable. For that reason, the day of her death is not always the same. However, she always dies in June, because a similar powerful conviction vows to kill her too.
Also, I wonder if you cannot change the fate of those two by just telling them, hey, stay home, or barring them inside their home, or telling them to not leave and play longer with them. Play through the entire night something with them.
That might be what could happen in Chapter 8 if we get a chance at a good ending. That one of them is able, through the morphogenetic field, access memories from the other fragments and goes, no, if you leave now you're gonna end up dead, so we just form a protective circle around you.
I feel like nothing has been done so far to change their fate, which is one of the things that's always been the same. Like, wouldn't that be an action you would try? We're trying all of these different things and we do have a lot of different outcomes.
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't try different things. That's the harsh part of the nature of this relationship. We watch the world unfold. We can yell at the screen all we want. We need to perceive a reality, a fragment, where the characters somehow, by luck or skill, figure it out and then change the course of fate. We cannot do anything. It's completely non-interactive. All we do is bear witness. Similar to Oyashiro-sama in his little circle of time and death. So, can we assume that the same rule Y is killing them? So, can we assume that the same rule Y killing them is also the rule behind her death? Is the same person killing all three of them? I don't know if it's the same person, but it's highly likely the same rule is at work. Is it the same person or the same organization? Is it the same views, the same goals? Rika's most important goal is to escape her deadly fate, but it doesn't mean that she just wants to leave the village and survive. She wants to live happily in the village. All of her friends must also be happy too. That's Rika's happy future. The ideal future she hopes for. It's tragic that we can't realize such a simple desire no matter how many times we repeat this. So far. So it's possible to change things. That's what I'm hoping.
It's what we are aiming for, I guess.
Like maybe by chapter 8, Keiichi has another brain fart and he goes, oh, but I remember what I've done, what the other Keiichi did, and I don't like that. So instead I will do this. In chapter 6, Keiichi had that moment where he accessed that other memory very early when they were at the junkyard and Reina was telling her story. He got it once, but then he didn't for a long time until it was way too late, after Watanagashi. So if somehow they were able to change the events of the night of Watanagashi, then maybe there would be a way out. So luckily it keeps buffering, but when it continues, there's nothing missing, just delayed.
Well, it could be worse then, I guess. Just really annoying.
Let's donate some money to Twitch. Though it's a tragedy we're only able to perceive because we're beings capable of comparing the fragments from different worlds. By the way, I have some interesting information. While Rika is almost always killed by Rule Y, have you noticed that she's killed by Rule X in some worlds?
To be honest, I forgot what the rules Y and X are.
Same, I just remember that there's 3 rules. And there are 3 constants of Higurashi.
I was just going along with it again because it didn't seem to matter that much, but now...
It would be nice if I don't just call them Rule X, Y, and Z. That would make it easier for me to follow.
To be fair, we could have written it down.
That's too easy. Right. It happened in the Watanagashi and the Meakashi chapters. Rika Furude committed suicide, but you can say she was more or less killed by Rule X via Shion Sonozaki in those worlds. In other words, this is a blunder for Rule Y. Rule Y is trying to kill Rika with a strong desire to achieve some aim. But she was killed before that as a result of the unrelated Rule X. That might have caused them to show some more disturbance. If Rule Y's objective is simply to bury Rika, then that's not a problem. But if they have some objective beyond that, then that might show up as some other phenomenon. Perhaps the Watanagashi and Meakashi chapters have something in common, something that doesn't happen in the other worlds. Unfortunately, we're Rika Furude, so we don't really know what happens after Rika is dead. Or, by any chance, do you know what happened? Fuck, they just gave it away, didn't they? The Watanagashi and Meakashi chapters have something in common that isn't seen from the perspective of Rika Furude. Which one was Watanagashi, the first one?
Check Open Steam.
So how do they change the future? And we cannot change the future. We are readers. Chapter 2 was Watanagashi and Chapter 5 was Meakashi.
Chapter 2 didn't have the end of the city volcanic eruption thing.
That we know of.
That we know of.
2,
Meakashi was?
5.
Which one was 5 again?
Shion's chapter.
Shion's chapter also did not have the deadly disaster at the end of the credits.
It just wasn't shown. Chapter 6 tells us that just because the characters don't get to witness it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. If the demon's script post-game tip is to be believed.
Yeah, but it wasn't in those. And besides, with that, everything you say can be thrown out of the window.
Exactly, that's my problem with understanding what they're trying to tell me.
Yeah, that's why I would not listen to that.
So I don't listen to the game, but I should listen to the game. That's what I'm getting from you right now.
Alright, go back to the log. I know what happens. Okay, that is true.
Chapter
So
2 didn't
oyashiro-sama.
have Akasaka, Chapter 5 didn't have Akasaka.
When did Rika die in Watanagashi and Meakashi?
Isn't that the one where they find her disemboweled? No! Wait.
I don't remember how Rika died. I think in Shion's chapter she was tortured.
In Shion's chapter, she commits suicide by knife. After trying to fight Shion and losing.
That wasn't in chapter 2.
That is chapter 5.
Oh.
In chapter 2, she goes missing.
Wasn't she tortured by...
We don't know that. Just that they find her body. And
In
that
which
she's
chapter
dead.
was she tortured by Mion or Shion then?
implied. In 2, we never witness it. In 5, we don't see that happening. Well, she doesn't get tortured. She attacks Shion and kills herself.
There is one specific chapter where she is tortured by Shion and Mion. I think.
No, that doesn't happen.
Because she's found at the bottom of the well.
Yes, that's chapter 2, but we don't know exactly what is done. We only learn that they find the body of Rika.
I think that's a fair assumption.
So you saying, oh, where's the torture chapter? I don't know what happened to her.
She's found at the bottom of the well in the Sonozaki house, which means Sonozaki Mion/Shion killed her just like she did Rika and the others. Why else would she be thrown down the well?
I don't know. Tradition. But what does that change? What does it change that we know in some stories Keiichi's perspective lasts longer than Rika's? So what do we win from knowing what happens after Rika is dead? We don't know what happens at the end after chapter 2 concludes. Chapter 2 concludes with Keiichi seeing Shmion zombie ghost crawling up to him.
That's just him hallucinating before he dies. But it doesn't matter what happens after Rika is dead. What matters is what is the only thing that those two worlds have in common before Rika dies. There's something that Oyashiro-sama knows happens in those 2 chapters that does not happen in the other chapters before Rika dies.
No, the exact opposite. There's something that Oyashiro-sama doesn't know. We're arguing semantics. I think we mean the same thing. But what?
Well, no point getting stuck on this for too long right now.
But if we can figure out who is trying to kill Rika, that would be helpful. But we couldn't possibly know, could we?
But it would be nice to know how she died, like how she ended up like disemboweled. Who did it?
Yeah.
There are still a few scenes where in some we know how she dies and who kills her, but there are still some where we have no clue.
I'm beginning to think Irie has something to do with it, because for one, what's the point of Irie? Also, chapter 6 had the whole conversation of the possessed Rika Shiro-sama talking to Reina at the junkyard, offering her a syringe. Where would she have that from?
eBay.
Fuck you, Tifa. Since I'm Rika Furude, I only know of events during Rika's life. You, on the other hand, are a special existence who was born in a superior world. Is there anything that didn't happen in the Watanagashi and Miyakashi chapters? That happened in all the other worlds after Rika's death? If you know anything, then that must be another truth behind Rule Y. The memories I have here are all mainly about the chaos brought about by Rika's friends, that is, Rule X. But its foundation, Rule Z, and the obvious hostility common among all worlds, Rule Y, are what I believe to be the true rules governing the stage. If so, then Rika's path is a thorny one. She needs to fight Rule Y in order to survive. Unless she defeats it, she has no future past June 1983. And to win her own happiness, she must also beat Rule X to win her friend's safety. So long as that's undefeated, one of Rika's precious friends may be led to tragedy. If that happens, then even should Rika survive, she wouldn't have the happy future she hopes for. She also may have to defeat Rule Z, just as Sonozaki Shion faced it on Miyakashi. Nitpicky thing, but they keep swapping between the Japanese way of naming and the Western way of naming. They keep swapping first and last name around.
A Rule X? Someone goes crazy.
Alright.
Okay, that I can remember.
Rule Y, Tomitake and Takano die.
but they always die. So
Exactly.
rule Y is always in place.
So far, yes. So is rule X. So far, every single time someone's gone crazy.
Fair enough.
So long as rule Z remains, then even if she escapes 1983, it's possible another tragedy may lie waiting in 1984. It's extremely likely that rule Z is the breeding ground for rule X. Hinamizawa's fundamental belief that the Sonozaki family is behind everything, and the custom that anything can be misconstrued as the curse, may indirectly be the root of all evil here. People are not surprised to see somebody die on the night of Watanagashi. That type of thinking is keeping the curse alive. In Hinamizawa, where it causes even more tragedy, it's Rule Z reinforcing itself. Rule Z, Uishi or Takano and Takano will fuck it up.
Wait, that doesn't make sense in this context.
Yes. Rule Z informs the others.
Okay.
Takano fucks something up, at the very least because she makes Tomitake go trespass with her. That's enough for somebody to kill them, possibly. Even if it's not Takano, then Oishi will fuck something up, like going, "Haha, Reina, it must have been a zombie version of you."
Fair.
They're always playing into it. Takano and Oishi, to some degree, are the catalysts that help somebody along their descent into craziness.
But neither of them did in chapter 1.
We just didn't witness that. But they still did something to die. Therefore, they caused Keiichi to go paranoid. Them causing their own death
but that's rule Y.
influences the rest.
That's not rule Z.
Takano fucks something up, causing her and Tomitake to die, which influences Keiichi's paranoia. She doesn't just randomly find herself in a barrel in the Gifu prefecture, burned to a crisp.
Feels too much like math.
Ranger, please enjoy a drink.
Joining you.
Rules X, Y and Z. There are 3 rules that hunt Rika down in the eternal June of 1983. They are all tough obstacles. We didn't even figure out these 3 common rules until recently. Were you aware of them? If you were, I'll give you straight A's. I've tried so hard in the past to break these rules, but I was never successful. However, a miracle happened in the Tsumi Horoboshi chapter. We're still in the recap era of chapter 7. Keiichi Maebara was able to recognize a small fragment from another world by chance, and he beat Rule X. In the end, Rika was still killed that night by Rule Y though. But still, 1 rule was defeated. That was a huge leap forward. Rika knew there were 3 common rules among the worlds, but she could never break any of them. Eventually, she gave up and lost interest in the world. That's how I was born. However, she's different now. She learned something valuable from Keiichi Maebara. That the rules can be broken with a strong enough will to fight.
See, it changed when Keiichi appears.
If she can break all 3 rules, Rika Furude will be freed from her eternal prison. She doesn't have much time left though. Rika has traveled through many worlds. Her physical lifespan is not a problem, but her mental lifespan is getting shorter. Mentally, she is extremely old, and her soul is starting to turn into something different. In the end, she'll probably lose the ability to experience singular worlds. She's already showing those signs, and eventually her memories from the parallel worlds will mix together, ultimately causing her derangement and the loss of Rika Furude's soul. And she will disappear. It means that you and I are going to be left in this dark world. The fragments of our memories will gradually disappear, and we will be left alone in the eternal darkness. Eventually, we will die. Rika Furude is aware of that. She knows that her mental lifespan is getting shorter and shorter. Hanyu is also losing her powers. Who? Who is Han Yu?
I've no
What the
idea.
fuck's Han Yu?
Press A moment, I guess?
She can't rewind for years of time like she used to. Her power has decreased so much that she can barely rewind 1 month of time. Actually,
Wait.
she can only rewind a few weeks. In the next world, she should only have about 2 weeks of time.
Okay, now I'm confused. Who is this and where does this come from?
Rika Frude is going to try and break all 3 rules in just those 2 weeks. Who the fuck is Han Yu? I wanted to know what's outside the well, so I tried to claw my way up from there. I wanted to know what's outside the well, so I continued to climb, even when I fell and injured myself. I finally realized, the higher I climb, the more pain I feel when I fall. When my curiosity toward the world and my physical pain become equal, something happens because the text went away. Chapter 7, Minagoroshi.
I would show you, but I have like a 5-minute delay.
It's cool. Alright. Oh, and this screen just stays? Okay, no, it's also fading out. Cool. How about we take another short break and I will, I don't know, try to stop and restart the stream. Maybe that will fix things.
Well, if it's not on our end, there isn't much you can do, but...
No, but maybe that wiggles it free. You know, turn it off and turn it on. That's what you always tell me.
That is true.
Just like Rika, I have to cling to hope that there is something in this grand audacity of fate that I can do to master my own fate.
That is true. Okay, BRB.
BRB.
We're back.
We are.
Must have been Oyashiro-sama's curse. We're getting too close to the mystery. Even though I want to blame Oyashiro-sama on this, I think this is the Bezos curse.
Yeah. Yes. I'm
Stealing
gonna...
some hand cream.
How's that gonna fix anything?
Well, it's gonna fix my dry skin.
Fair enough. We cannot fix Twitch server issues, but we can do something about Tifa's dry hands.
Exactly.
That's a good point. You had one job. I know, right? I know.
Well, a big event started on Twitch, and that always
but honestly,
can cause some issues.
No. This happens every now and then, and it's hella annoying. So once again, sorry. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it, but sorry anyway. And thank you for being here, because we know it's not great. Let's make the most out of it, though. While it's stable, let's continue. I felt no gravity in the darkness and wait, he kept calling us sister. Maybe you should read this line for now. Also, I've been inhaling so much, I've been swallowing so much air during all of this monologuing. We'll fix it in post. That's the horrible thing. The recording is uninterrupted. When you see this later on YouTube, it's gonna be perfect and you will have no idea. Well, you can understand from what we're saying and what people are saying in chat, but it looks perfectly fine to you because we're recording locally.
Yeah, we don't record the actual stream, we record...
No, we do.
No, we record in OBS.
We're recording the stream.
Not the Twitch stream.
We're not exporting what you see on Twitch. Tifa, don't argue semantics. Well, never... Don't be discouraged by Tifa. She hasn't set up any of this. She doesn't know how it works. We're recording locally on YouTube. None of these issues will exist.
That's exactly what I said, though.
And the buffering is back because of your bullshit, so read your line.
I don't think this is me.
It is.
I think it's still you.
Let's find out.
Yeah, but I think if it's Oyashiro-sama, it should be you.
I don't think it's Oyashiro-sama.
I felt no gravity in the darkness and lost all my senses as a result. I banged my head on the floor with a dull thud. Seeing stars behind my eyelids, I curled into a ball while holding my head in pain. Are you okay? Did you get hurt? Rika!
Oh! Who should read the line? Which one of us is it? I told you!
Please say something! I had no idea why I was in this situation, but as soon as I heard their voices from the top of the cliff, I realized that I must have fallen. Off the cliff.
The cliff!
Ah, I remember. I was playing behind the shrine with the rest of the club members. I got too excited and started doing something very dangerous. Then the tree branch broke. That's how I fell off the cliff. My body started to ache all over. I remembered how I fell, but I still felt strange for some reason. I couldn't remember what I was doing. No, it was more that I couldn't remember who Rika Furude was before I fell off of the cliff.
Yeah, it's all blending together for her already. Ew. Yeah, that's you.
No, it's actually a new character.
Who the fuck is Hanyu? Who the fuck is Hanyu? Okay, other question. Which one of us should voice Hanyu? I'm guessing it should be me, based on the fact that I think Hanyu is going to exist pretty much entirely only in the vicinity of Rika.
I think you would be easier because all the other characters, with the exception of Keiichi, will be me.
That's not true. I'm also a lot of other characters.
Well, Ooishi.
And Irie. And
they don't show up
Tomitake.
as much as this group together.
And I also played tree number 2 and 6 back there.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to a group conversation such as this, they're me.
Manga is a lot more in depth about this.
Wait until you see Hanyu.
Alright.
I heard Hanyu's panicked voice. Okay, well, it's me. So, a shrine maiden.
Fuck off! Fuck all the way off! How was there another shrine maiden the entire time?
And
Why does she have
has
horns? She's a yokai, isn't she? That's not like hair ornaments.
Well, she can turn back time, remember?
Man, this is a great visual novel. I love the thrill of not knowing whether there's a supernatural aspect to this or if it's all people making shit up. There's literally a ghost with horns.
I think it's fair to say that nobody can see Hanyu.
Hanyu spelled backwards as race car. That is absolutely correct.
It does certainly feel like it, yes.
Tifa, you are Hanyu.
I looked behind me and saw Hanyu standing there with a scared look on her face.
Also, if only Rika can see her, shouldn't it be Hanmi?
Hanyu? Ouch. What just happened? Hanyu broke the fall by letting Rika fall onto her. Ow, ow! You were playing with everyone and fell off the cliff. Are you okay? Actually, that's not a voice I can keep up.
Maybe the real Hanyu is the buffering we made along the way. Yes, Hanyu exists in the space between packets of data being sent between us and the Twitch servers.
I don't care about that, Hanyu. What day is it today? What year and what month is it? I always ask this question first when something like this happens. She finally realized that I was asking the same old question. What would she sound like?
Like a ghost. Spooky. No.
It's June of 19...
No, that's fucking annoying. Please don't do that. I would think she sounds a lot like Rika.
It's June of 1983. The Watanagashi festival is next week, so... that's Reina's voice.
I'm okay with that.
Oh dear. I only have that much time left.
She sounds like Rika, but slighter. Yeah, potentially. If I'm right and only Rika can see her, then I'm perfectly fine with this being Rika's voice-ish.
Fair enough. This is the best we can do. Hanyu muttered regretfully.
It's either June 9 or September 6, whatever gets you to 6/9. Oh, true, we can listen to the voice. Why didn't I think of that? Thank you, Dark Lord.
True, that's
Voice
a good
volume
point.
all the way up.
I doubt I can come close to it, but...
Let's listen to Rika first as a baseline. That's not what an 8-year-old girl sounds like.
It was just the soul of an 800-year-old.
That is...
Okay, a bit high-pitched.
That was all that one line. The Japanese language is so long.
Well, they shortened the ums.
No, she did eto, which is
Yeah, but we only had one
Get out the helium. Yep.
It was the middle of June 1983.
Yeah, do a mouse voice.
A mouse voice.
Yeah.
It was the middle.
No, that's Rika.
What? That was way too high-pitched for Rika.
No, this is Rika.
Oh, yeah, I was trying out a voice.
The line I expect you to read next, I believe, should be read in Rika's voice. She is kind of mousy, not gonna lie. Called it.
It was the middle of June 1983. If this really was the best she could do, I had no choice. I couldn't complain. Wait, so Hanyu is the one who is putting her back in a different world?
That's why the chapters start roughly in June, but at different times.
Because she also always...
Because Hanyu goes meep and turns the clock back.
Yes, but that's also why we are at different intervals, because Oyashiro-sama said before that at first Hanyu could put time back like 2 months or a month, and nowadays it's only like 2 weeks, which is why we've been closer towards the Watanagashi festival than chapter 1.
Yes.
And we thought we're basically skipping the entire introduction of Keiichi coming.
That is fucking genius.
It's because Hanyu doesn't have the power anymore to go too far back.
Yes. There's an in-lore explanation about the timelines we get to experience as the viewer.
I'm not sure yet how I feel about this extra character, except for the fact that she's
That's
really
amazing. That is amazing. Genius.
Should have been voiced by Morgan Freeman, shaking my head. To be fair, everything should be voiced by Morgan Freeman.
I should be voiced by Morgan Freeman. As the viewer, buffering. That's just Hanyu messing with you. The word for fragment is kakera. If there's a deeper meaning to that, I would not.
Kakarot? That's a different show though.
That's Rule Dragon Ball Z.
I gradually started to remember more things. Okay, but this is even more interesting because now it literally starts in the middle of a world. She doesn't remember where she is because this is the moment of her resurrection. We started the new chapter. Rika doesn't remember what has happened. She falls out of a tree, asks the question, Hanyu answers it. This is the moment Rika has revived.
Has she revived, or does she just return time from the moment of her death backwards?
I think it comes down to the same thing, because it is still...
No, not quite.
I don't think we're in the same world. Even Oyashiro-sama says it's a different... world. And if you stick to the standard rules of time traveling, you basically go into a branch.
You just split the timeline again.
Yes. So I think sticking to the definition of it's a new world makes sense.
Spoilers for the Zero Escape series. Do you all remember when I called time travel for 999? And he was like, no, there's no time travel. That's bullshit. And now, fast forward to just now a moment ago. Yeah, this is one of the basic rules of time travel, you know? Every time you travel time, you just create another branch in the timeline.
Yeah, I'm trying to stick to one terminology.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm trying to stick to one terminology here so that it makes sense to us. So I think, even if it is time traveling
I'm on
now,
your side.
I want to say it's a new world because it's a different branch. I also have a feeling you wrote down time traveling as your prediction. And I hate the fact that time traveling is put into there because I would have preferred her dying and just magically going resurrected because of some curse of a god instead of, oh no, I can time travel all of us.
Why do I keep, when I go for a high-pitched meep, why do I always do the Roadrunner sound? What's a mouse sound?
Wink, wink.
Also, that's feelers, like an insect. There.
999!
Doch. Yes. I blame Genocide Jill. Same. Clearly time travel to another timeline where Tofu understands wrestling terms and time travel. In Japan, the mouse goes choo-choo. So mice in Japan are trains in Germany. Because our trains go choo-choo.
I prefer squeak squeak or peep peep. Peep peep peep.
I sometimes go peep peep during the break.
What's it in German?
What?
The sound of a mouse.
Pinkeln gehen, was? To go piss. What?
What's the sound of a mouse in German? It's peep in Dutch.
I have no idea.
Wow. Psycho, as the true German among us, what's the sound of a mouse in German?
Among us? It's also a problem because choo-choo is also the sound of kissing.
Choo. I say nani.
Choo-choo. I think that looked really weird and I'm not sorry about it.
Like,
peep peep.
Hey.
Thank you.
Same as in Dutch. Thank you very much.
Nani?
He's been lying about being a German, obviously.
So Rika, then what's happening here?
I think we're allowed to say true Germans anymore.
Within the right context, yes you can.
If this is June of 1983, I see. I was killed again.
Also, how do we just supercharge Hanyu? Because that should be a thing, right? Also, assuming that I'm right and Hanyu is a yokai, a Japanese ghost spirit being, who says there's only one?
Well, you don't know how Hanyu supercharges. Obviously, the world continues as we've had, like in the, what is it, Devil's Script, whatever.
Yeah,
we have
script.
40 years after the Great Disaster. So the timeline continues. What if Hanyu takes 20 years to recover and then just resets the time for Rika?
If we pressed A, we could find out. But before that, I have to share my awesome idea about Hanyu's powers with you. I think the most logical way we can get to a happy end where Rika gets what she deserves, which is a happy life, is when Hanyu runs out of power. In that Pim anime moment, she's gonna overcome her batteries having run out. She's gonna level up, so to say, and Hanyu is gonna evolve into Han2.
The Great Disaster sounds like a Taco Bell special. Nah, that's on the standard menu.
That's in the secret menu. You have to go say choo-choo when you want to order it. While wearing a mouse costume.
After Reina surrendered to the police, all of the classmates were given checkups at the clinic. I didn't get hurt, so I was sent back home after they determined that I had no injuries. My memory started getting vague from that point on. The common characteristic. Oh my god! Characteristic. I can say it.
That was so different. That gave me shock laughter.
I can say it.
It's a big word for a very little girl.
A common characteristic of my violent deaths. When my life is taken away violently, the memory before death becomes vague with static. It's like a violently ripped roll of toilet paper. That example should make it easy to understand, even if it's uncouth. That's why I have no clear memory of what happened and how I died that night. I only have vague memories. I think someone covered my mouth with a handkerchief or something and I passed out. That's about the only thing that I remember, and only vaguely. Guessing Satoko might have realized what's going on, tried to make Rika not breathe in whatever is happening and save her.
So she thinks somebody tried to suffocate me.
Exactly, but then they both died. I'm not even really sure if it really happened. The only thing I know for sure is that I was attacked on my way home, or possibly after I got there, and that I was murdered suddenly. Oh, maybe not. I don't know who killed me, or how I was killed. I'm glad that at least I don't remember the horrific ending to my life every time it happens. Because of my experiences, I think I now understand why ghosts wander around this world, not knowing that they died so suddenly. If it's a death from a long-lasting illness, people tend to remember that they were sick. They can kind of assume that they died after being sick for a long time. But when your memory is violently disrupted like mine, it can get quite confusing. When I first experienced this, I wasn't sure if I was dreaming or not. I even thought that I hit my head hard and lost my memory. I needed to organize things before I get too confused. My name is Rika Furude. People look at me in a special way, but that's not a big deal for me. All I want is a happy life where I can play around with my best friends. I can't remember how long I've been living just for the sake of obtaining that simple happiness. Okay, she is a ghost.
I am so good at this.
I think it is very clear now.
I hope you never undo that again. A violent rickroll of toilet paper.
Never gonna tear you up. Never gonna let you die. But I will resurrect you when I can.
Carry on. That was good. Keep going.
You broke the flow.
Sorry. I've done a lot. God knows I've tried to find the truth. I've even lied. But all I know is down inside, I'm bleeding. Superheroes from Rocky Horror Show.
Never seen it actually.
Same. Yes, Rika?
Thought I said it. This panic girl here is named Hanyu. I'm the only one who can see her. Perhaps she only exists inside of my head. At any rate, Hanyu is invisible and can generally only interact with me. It will be a long story if I try to explain Hanyu's existence, so I won't be doing that right now.
We're gonna have to deal with bad Hanyu puns now. Yes. Yes, you do.
As much as can be fit in. By Jack at least. I don't have any.
I will spend all night trying to figure out what's causing the buffering issues, if there's anything we can do on our end. But at the same time thinking of Hanyu puns.
Besides, I don't even know how I should talk about her. She's been there since I was born, and her existence is a natural thing for me. But she is a shrine maiden based on the outfit, so she's there because of oyashiro-sama, I assume.
Possibly.
And because Rika has oyashiro-sama inside of her, Hanyu is there as a servant.
But also, we don't know that the voice in the void between worlds was oyashiro-sama.
I think it was, even though personality-wise, like I said, it didn't really matched up. But
no,
I
think actually that was Rika.
No. Then Rika was talking about her in the third sense.
Yeah.
I think it was oyashiro-sama.
But
yeah, this make more sense.
The voice said I was born in the normal world.
Yes, before this started happening.
Yeah, Rika was born in the normal world.
Yeah, so was oyashiro-sama. For 8 years, the world has been normal.
Allegedly.
And I think the normal world just is the name of everything before the looping happened.
In Japan, we call them Miko. I think Hanyu's outfit is a very outdated Miko outfit. That would fit with my idea that she was a shrine maiden of oyashiro-sama before Rika's time. Maybe she is a Furude as well. Like a guardian yokai of a Furude temple.
Furude, I don't know, but I definitely believe she is there for Oyashiro-sama. And I think the only reason why the time loop has happened, because the very first time Rika died, she tried to reverse it by saving Oyashiro-sama, because if Rika dies, Oyashiro-sama will die out as well, as was said in the beginning. Because he cannot continue the line. Rika is the last of her line. He cannot be resurrected into a new of her line.
True,
but he will disappear into eternal darkness, which means Hanyu, doing this, is trying to save Oyashiro-sama from disappearing. If that isn't a theory to write down, then I don't know what is.
Tell me again in a moment so I can write it down. I would like to remind everybody that I have said it before and I'm saying it again. Higurashi is the story of a supernatural being trying to make a little girl survive long enough so that she can have sex.
A couple more years, no? What was the age of consent? 12? 13?
You are disgusting, Tiva.
I'm talking about the time there.
Now, please tell me what your prediction was so I can write it down.
That Hanyu resurrect or rewinding time is to save Oyashiro-sama from disappearing. I think it boils down to that.
Cool. She's like 10, so all I'll say is that Ryukishi isn't a creep.
I fully believe that, but he started it.
Out of sheer, preserving my own life. As Oyashiro-sama, I would not want Rika to die, because there is no other Furudes left. It makes sense. I'm just putting it very weirdly because it's funnier that way.
That's exactly what I said. That if Rika dies, it's the end of the line.
Yeah, great.
You just made it extremely creepy.
Yeah, I'm good at that. I have latent creep energy.
That's true. It's the goatee.
Yeah, and red.
Yeah.
There aren't that many Furudes left. Yeah, one, as far as we know.
I saw everyone running up the gravel road towards me. They're my important and lovable best friends. Our group's active, boisterous, and we get serious about doing stupid things. I'm never bored when I'm around them, and I love them very much. Oh, Rika-chan, are you okay? Did you sprain your ankle? Where did you get hurt? Let this old man have a look at it. Meep. Thank you so much. I just got a bump on my head. I think all I got was a bump at least. My injury wasn't as serious as everyone thought.
The whole being gutted thing, yeah, it's whatever.
When you hit your head, you still need to be cautious, even if you're fine for the moment.
And again, she
Truer words have never been spoken.
Yes, concussions are horseshit. That's true. You should get the coach to check you out just in case.
That's a good idea. Do you want me to go and get him? Yeah. We'll go ask somebody to use a phone and call him here. You don't need to do that. I'm totally fine. Nippa.
With Keiichi MC, Shion MC, Drainer MC. It's time for the critter.
Yeah, just before you said that, I was actually thinking that this makes sense because we haven't had Rika as the main character yet.
But who's gonna be the final main character in Chapter 8?
Oyashiro-sama.
Ooishi. Imagine. And then every interaction with him is like a multiple choice kind of thing. And the only winning move is to not interact with the kids because you make it worse.
I think in Chapter 8 it might be a mix between Rika and Keiichi.
Possible. Simple. Can't have a concussion if you don't test for it.
Truer words have also never been spoken there.
Sadako knows a thing or two about head injuries. She inflicts so many. It is true for stupid traps. Obviously Ooishi goat. Alright, looking forward to it.
Absolutely not, Rika. You must be cautious. Satoko warned me with a stern voice. It really wasn't a big deal, but I decided to not since Satoko was trying to be generous. She didn't say generous, did she?
Yes, she did.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, seemed
Not
like
the word
such
I
a-
would have used there, but it is what's written.
When I said it, it felt so out of place that I thought it couldn't be right. She wasn't trying to boss me around or anything. She was only saying that because of how much she cares. I've seen it before in the many different lives that I've been through. I have no doubt that she's really concerned about me. It's not just Satoko. Mion, Reina, and Keiichi are the same. They're all so nice to me, and they truly do care. Mion left to look for her phone. Reina also left with a towel looking for the water tap. Satoko remained nearby, taking care of me with a worried face. And Hanyu was just standing there, still wearing a panicked look. Keiichi seemed to be panicked too, but he was trying not to show it.
So manly.
If you're looking for more truth, follow me on Truth Social at What the fuck are we doing here, guys? You should claim that.
I will cut off my toes before I make an account on Truth Social. What nice friends! Shame what'll happen. Yeah, I foresee nothing good.
We're gonna be fine.
Especially with that music starting.
Nothing's gonna happen. He was standing by me wearing a calm expression.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. It doesn't hurt anywhere.
I'm glad you're not seriously injured. I was super worried.
I wouldn't feel anything special about his words if this was a while ago. But at that moment when Reina took over the classroom, when she heard Mion, Keiichi tried his best to save Reina even so. He was more reliable than I ever imagined from his normal behavior. He's usually an insensitive guy who hurts other people's feelings without noticing, but that's not his true self. He has a secret side. He's willing to sacrifice himself to other people. I was just observing that not too long ago.
Not in every chapter, but in this one at least. Of a previous one.
Well, also in Satoko's one.
Yeah, but... You know... No, not really. He still took the easy way out. I'm sorry, but can we not forget that instead of asking his family whether they could do something for Satoko, he instead jumped to, I'll just kill her uncle.
I agree, but that's still a sacrifice.
He still took the easy way out. As harsh as that sounds, it still was easier for him to go, I'll just kill a guy, versus, I'll ask my family for help. Reasonable crasher. Asshole Keiichi. Yeah, he's a thing.
That's why I can honestly feel his generosity now. I sometimes feel like Keiichi.
What? What?
Being the accidental asshole.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now that I think about it, Keiichi regained a memory from another world the previous time around. Is it possible that he carries that memory in this world too? If that's the case, I have some hope. Hanyu and I are totally powerless. Hanyu is only like heir to everyone but me, and I'm just a little girl. There's only so much that we can do ourselves. But Keiichi is different. He changed the fate that I had once resigned myself to. He's somebody who may have the power to make me Oh my god. He's somebody who may have the power to take me to my unseen future. If I can get Keiichi to understand me, he could be my hero. Perhaps I'm actually not expecting that much out of him.
Ah shit, here we go again. .gif. Yep.
I just want someone to understand my struggle of being stuck in this maze. Keiichi? I need a hero! Oh, I've just watched Shrek. I should know the entire lyrics to this. Be faster than light. I need a hero!
I need Keiichi!
I need Keiichi by my side. I spoke to him.
Maebara, more like my Abara. Am I right, everybody?
Time to watch Shrek 2, adios. I've been starting to
Please
watch Shrek in the gym, and it makes time go so much faster.
Can confirm it's totally not weird when Tifa is doing incline walking and suddenly she starts chuckling.
There are 2 things that are currently helping. Tips for the gym, by the way. There are currently 2 tips I can give you to watch while you're incline walking at the gym. 1.
Shrek 2.
Shrek. Not just Shrek 2, just the Shrek line. I'm currently at Shrek 4, I believe, and I'm just going through them in a loop. So, the Shrek series.
Her own Higurashi moment.
And come dine with me.
Alright.
You don't need to pay as much attention to that too. If you've already seen the Shrek movies, you also don't need to pay a lot of attention to it. But those 2 definitely make time go a whole lot faster. We watch a Shrek movie once a day.
That's rookie numbers, do 2 movies a day.
Including the Puss in Boots movie into the rotation. That is a really good movie though.
It hurts, but I do it for Shrek. Exactly.
Absolutely. I am sorry, but the last
Shrek yourself before you wreck yourself.
The last Puss in Boots movie, I actually forgot the name, which is horrible, was pure brilliance.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 movie for me, and I don't even like Puss in Boots or Shrek.
That was so good. The animation was beautiful. The scenes where the wolf is whistling every single time he shows up, like, gives me goosebumps every time.
There's a wolf in the movie.
He's in the trailer.
Spoilers.
Oh, fair enough. Shrek is love. Shrek is life. He doesn't like Shrek for some reason.
If I want to see Shrek, I just undress and look at myself in the mirror.
Do you actually know how great the Shrek movies are? Like, every time you watch it, I feel like you notice a new joke.
I don't.
There's a lot of subtle gaps aimed at adults in there as well.
Would you wish you knew the name of a last movie? Could it be The Last Wish?
Oh yeah, that was it, I think.
Thank you,
that was so good. And I've only seen it once, actually. I need to...
Subtle.
I mean...
It worked. Any more subtle and we wouldn't have gotten it.
I need to put that one into rotation too, now that you
Is
mention
this
it.
English, Dutch or German Shrek? English. It's English Shrek she's watching.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Shrek in Dutch.
You should watch it in German. Hallo, ich bin Shrek.
Is Shrek
Hello,
actually
I'm
called
Shrek.
Shrek in German?
I don't think that translated the name.
Sometimes they seem to do.
But I cut through your line.
Shroek.
Shrek.
Anyway, Shrek movies, absolutely love them. Puss in Boots, even better. I spoke to him slowly. It had been a while since I felt so nervous. I hadn't felt this way since I started my endless life in 1983. As a witch, I normally would know what his response would be before even talking to him. I often remain silent because I already know how pitiful the reply would be. But in that case, why was I so nervous now?
Uh-huh. Did you call me Rika-chan?
Did you turn more muscular?
That's disgusting, please stop.
Fine. Hanyu gave me a disappointed look before I responded to Keiichi. See? The response helped. Fits perfectly.
Schrecken, because he is terrifying. That would make sense. Also, real quick, let's go for the art styles.
Oh yeah, good point.
We've seen this before, but I can never get over the fact that Keiichi looks like a sci-fi character with like a leather vest on.
To be fair, I do like the style like this in video games and anime and stuff much better. But in reality, no kid would wear that.
This?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No kid would be wearing this.
I don't know about Japan, but here you would probably get bullied for it. It's got that District 9 vest. Yeah, true. He looks like he could be in Hunger Games. And in console and remake art, he's just a guy. In the remake, he has the face of a 20-year-old harem route main character. Console is the best one for me. Always hungry. I live for Hunger Games.
I feel you, Ranger.
Exactly what we're about, Ranger. Exactly.
I feel you. Rika. I could tell what Hanyu was thinking too. The miracle wasn't going to happen.
Shut the fuck up, Hanyu. You're a hater. Believe.
If miracles do happen, one could have happened many times in my other lives. But I've only seen one miracle before. The miracle that Keiichi gave me was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of miracle.
Yeah, and now you're in a different lifetime, so you're getting another one.
Hey, Rika, it's been like 5 minutes. Give the kid a chance.
Yeah. Hanyu, more like.
Only if it happened again, would it be a true miracle. I won't get out of this world just because I rolled 6 on the die once. I can't get out unless I get a miracle that's equivalent to getting 6 on the die 10 times in a row. And so, I rolled 10 dice, wishing that they'd all turn out to be 6. Keiichi?
What is it? Are you hurt anywhere?
He looked at me worriedly after I called his name twice. Keiichi, so I said it again.
Keiichi? Keiichi?
Do you remember? I knew how sudden my question was. As I thought he would, he looked at me with a confused face.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I looked inside his eyes to see his true feelings.
He has them closed, Rika.
He should remember. He should know. And don't forget, when he did remember, it was in a situation of stress where he needed to, and it wasn't just randomly.
Spoilers for the Zero Escape series. Would you say it was a moment of extreme stress, impending death and doom?
Impending death and doom? No, I don't think so. Extreme stress? Yes.
Just saying. Morphogenetic fields.
Even though he doesn't have the memory, Keiichi experienced it.
What is she referring to, Keiichi-san? Did you do something bad to her? You had better speak up.
Keiichi, do you remember climbing up on the school roof?
The school roof. Keiichi-san, you climbed up there?
Without me?
I'm not asking you, Satoko. Do you remember, Keiichi?
I did? I climbed up on the roof. When? You must be mistaken somehow, Rika-chan. I never climbed on the roof and I don't even know how to get up there.
Of course you haven't experienced it in this world yet. But please tell me that you remember. I know you've never been up on the roof, but you should still remember doing it. You shouldn't be able to remember it, true, but you actually did once. You should be able to remember it once again.
Perhaps she went up there to get a ball or something?
Please shut the fuck up.
Well, at this point I would think she has a concussion.
Yeah, fair. Same. Never. Have you been up there, Satoko?
Unthinkable.
You okay?
Okay, it's not coming.
What?
I was about to sneeze.
Oh. Yeah, you're welcome.
I would get in such terrible trouble if I did something like that.
But I bet it would feel really good to take a nap up there. Just fall down a cliff and pretend to have a concussion. Yep. How to get out of awkward conversations. Yeet!
Is that how I get out of work tomorrow?
No. Only works on anime and video games.
There's no way. You would remember. If miracles could happen that easily, neither of us would be suffering like this. Shut up. I knew that. I knew that he wouldn't remember. Our fate is already set in stone. We're like a pitiful cicada that dies after the summer festival. Shut Shut up. As I stared at her fiercely, Hanyu realized that she had crossed the line.
Hanyu? More like Han-Poo, am I right? 'Cause she's shit.
This might be a waste of time. The maze we're in might not have an exit. It might be an endless loop without a goal in place. We are trapped in this fate. I thought that Keiichi might be able to get me out of here. But that Keiichi I saw was truly a miracle, a momentary glimmer. The Keiichi of this world doesn't bear that same miracle. All the same, I'm not going to give up. Last time too, I gave up on fighting destiny. I realized Reina was beyond salvation, so I bid her farewell and forsook that world. But Keiichi fought and broke the cycle of fate. I should have worked harder with that Keiichi in that world. I could have broken this endless cycle together with him. Am I going to repeat this life, waiting for that miracle to happen again? I can't do that. I don't want to repeat the same life anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this world, my fate, and everything. I'm tired of getting murdered by destiny. Keiichi showed me a miracle. I should be able to do the same too. I must fight. I must fight with all my remaining power. I was always fighting. I was fighting when I had more power. But I never made it. How can I expect to win this time? Still, I must fight. Keiichi taught me that fate can be shattered. I'm going to fight one more time.
Twice more, please. At least. We fought fate so hard, by the way, that I'm gonna jinx it probably, but no buffering anymore.
That was a quick chapter.
New tips unlocked. To my granddaughter. Let's still do the tip for tonight?
Yeah, might as well.
While the internet while Twitch holds up. To my granddaughter! Did I jinx it? No, don't tell. Please. Psycho, you freaked me out.
Tips are back. They were never gone. Suddenly I'm confused. Did we not have tips in...
Yes, we did. But it's nice that they're back. Maybe they wouldn't be in one of the games.
Yeah, but they never left.
Today everybody gets to be confused.
The tips was always there. In your heart.
I'm sorry for leaving you like this. I just need you to understand I'd rather take my own life than be fearful of how many days I have left to live.
Are you sure that's not Rika?
That's why I'm writing this letter to you. I can't stand the fear of being unable to leave behind a will while my life is prolonged, even as I lose my consciousness.
On the way to my granddaughter.
In the end, there's nothing I can leave behind for you. I was unable to leave any of my achievements to this world. I was forgotten before I was dead.
Yeah, it's because Steam doesn't allow you to give your account away after you die.
Most places don't allow that.
Well, they should.
Agreed, but that's not a Steam thing, that's an everybody thing.
Yeah, but he's talking about achievements. Yeah, he wants to pass on his achievements, which are on your Steam account. No? Okay, fine. Too far-fetched for your simple mind tonight.
Can we replace Tifa with the other one? Why don't you make like Hanyu and become a ghost and slow?
I thought it was funny.
I leave this world a humiliated man, knowing that I had no appreciation from anyone. You must do better than me. You must achieve something that your grandfather was never able to achieve. I don't mind what field you choose. You must leave your mark on this world. You must leave behind your achievements. You will eventually die someday. You will eventually turn to ashes. As a human being, that's your inevitable fate. But if you achieve a great success, you will live forever even after you depart. Those who live beyond their deaths are called gods. I wished to become one, but I was unable to do so. So in my place, you must become a god someday.
What? Why do I think that's Takano's grandfather?
Oh, could have been.
Maybe the stupid bullshit messaging runs in the family. Triple saved.
That could actually
Triple
have been.
saved. Tifa, how do you like Higurashi chapter 7 so far?
That's alright.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Like when you order a soup for a start at a restaurant. It's not exactly like you would have expected, but it's good.
I'm not a big fan of them breaking the fourth wall. But on the
At
other
this
hand,
point, I appreciate it.
on the other hand, it's one of the few ways you could have made this conversation happen, I guess. Probably wouldn't have made a lot of sense of something explaining the other thing to someone.
With all of this meta-narrative happening, you would have needed either the author in another interview, like Ryukishio 7 spelling everything out, spilling the beans, or to get one of the supernatural beings to show up.
I don't think they had another choice, but I'm not a big fan of it. But all in all, it's okay so far. I do like that we got a couple more. Hanyu is cute.
Hanyu is cute, but I hate the inclusion of Hanyu.
But you can't really go anymore that... Is there a supernatural thing, yes or no? Because yes, you
That's
cannot...
gone.
If Hanyu is an actual thing, you cannot explain that away without it. And I thought that was one of the questions.
Yes.
Is this explainable by science or a logical explanation or whatever?
Is it just people doing things?
Yeah, exactly. Or is it supernatural?
But
And it's a bit of both.
actually, I fully agree with you, but that's not true.
True, Hanyu
That's
could
not
still
true.
be a figment of her imagination and it's not actually happening.
How many people have imaginary friends?
Yeah, that's why I say you could throw it on an imaginary friend.
It is thought, according to an article in The Guardian from 2019, 30th of August 2019, it is thought that 40% of people have imaginary friends during childhood. 40%. Hanyu being a figment of her imagination, similar to how Reina perceived Oyashiro-sama in the light during her episodes before she came back to Hinamizawa. Could just be Rika making sense of her weird ability to be resurrected. For all
Then
we
there's
know,
still a supernatural part.
no, not necessarily.
If Rika can resurrect, it's supernatural.
Does she?
You just said that.
But is she being resurrected? Or is this quantum mechanics of how everybody exists in an infinite number of infinite parallel universes, and sometimes the wires get crossed and memories blend through or bleed through? Now we're into like science fantasy territory, but with pseudoscience you could still try to explain it away.
We're not gonna go there.
And how is she going back in time? She isn't in what I just brought up. She isn't. She just literally fell while she was playing, and because she has these weird memories, she goes, oh, it must have been like this. It's always been like this for me. I always had these other memories. For all we know, she's imagining them.
I think the little bit that I actually find the most disappointing so far is, that I actually put on the spoiler facts, is that a lot of the big reveals seem to be in line with some of the other games he has worked on.
What other games that Ryukishio 7 has worked on have we played?
Hasn't he also worked on,
No.
What are they called?
No, this is the first Ryukishio 7 game we're playing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wasn't he also
No.
part in writing
No.
the story?
No.
Are you sure?
Ichikoshi. Yeah. Look at that. So, for the spoiler... For the spoilers, I believe Tifa is talking about the Zero Escape games.
Zero Escape games. Didn't they share a writer or something? Because I feel like the plot twists, even though they're completely different stories, kind of overlap.
Zero Escape, written and directed by Kotaro Uchikoshi, not Ryukishi 7. He's working with Kodaka and Uchikoshi did 100 Line. That's not Ryukishi 7. Ryukishi 7 is on the new Silent Hill game.
I somehow thought they had the same writer in common, because I kind of feel like...
Silent Hill F, thank you.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm confusing with, because I kind of feel like the plot twists overlap a bit.
But we don't actually know that yet.
Yeah, but that's what it feels like right now.
But unfortunately for us, in this moment in time, we don't know. It feels like they happen to be similar to other games we played, but we don't actually know. That's the disgusting, horrible, two-faced beauty of these games, that every single thing so far outside of the breaking the fourth wall part can be explained away with science.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess.
Who is Hanyu? Hanyu is a figment of Rika's imagination. How does Rika know about her other lives? She doesn't. She's making it up. She thinks she has magic powers because she was raised to believe she has magic powers. And she feels like there's static in her mind when she's thinking about these things, because that's what it feels like for her when she's thinking about these memories. Only from the perspective of us existing on the meta-narrative level of witnessing the individual chapters, we are the ones making this a supernatural explanation or a scientific one tying them all together. The individual chapters for themselves give you exactly 50-50.
No, I get it, but right now it just feels like too much overlaps when it comes to surprise! There's a supernatural fourth being!
Suffering from success, we just picked the right/wrong games to play before this one.
There's time travel! There's several worlds! There's trying to escape a scenario that happened in the other world, and in that sense...
They keep trying to avoid a great disaster and eventually end up causing it, potentially.
Yes, in that regard, it overlaps. And it's getting more and more where those points all just are the same. So every time I'm like, nah, they're not going to do that in this game. It's like, oh, suddenly there's time travel. I'm like, fuck!
So what Tifa is trying to say is,
there's a fourth being.
What Tifa is trying to say is, unfortunately, after we're finished with Higurashi, we're gonna stop streaming for good. We're gonna stop playing video games. We're going to sell all video games we own, which there's plenty. And then I might have katana money for once. Because they're all the same.
It doesn't take away the fact that I still find it enjoyable.
I've seen this before in Mario. There's a turtle in this game. This is so derivative of Super Mario Bros.
It's like all of these things just come together too soon.
Elves with long ears stolen from the Zelda games. They used to call them Hylians.
You know, if after the second thing I would have just called out the plot points of the other game, I would have guessed this entire game right now.
A princess wearing a pink dress. What is she? Some sort of peach? A green lizard with a long sticky tongue. Could he be Yoshi? Like that?
No.
I can keep that up forever, I feel like.
So we don't know what our plan is for next week yet. But you'll learn that on Monday, as always, by yours truly, Jack, who's very adamant on the schedule at 7.
Tifa and I are gonna argue about what we can do about the buffering, or how we're gonna deal with the buffering, because working theory still is, it's the Twitch servers. Earlier, when I reset the stream, I kept you updated in the chat. I turned off the stream. I clonked my mug. I turned off the stream, and then when I tried to start it again, I couldn't log in. Like, OBS wouldn't connect to the Twitch servers. There's nothing I can do about that. So if it's Twitch being Twitch, thank you all for suffering through the buffering with us.
Really appreciate it.
But we would rather you don't have to, and especially with a story-heavy game, that is very frustrating, both for you and for us, because we understand that it's frustrating for you. Or maybe that's just us exaggerating things in our heads. Well, you want to finish 2 episodes by the end of the year? Yeah, but now we've got Hanyu on our side, so we can just turn back the calendar and then just gain an extra 2 weeks and stretch it out. You have a point, Psycho.
Well, we also gotta play Shenmue 3.
I'm very okay with playing Shenmue 3 closer to the end of Higurashi. If we don't happen to start and finish Shenmue 3 this year, then I would accept that. If I have to choose between one or the other, my vote would be for Higurashi.
Well, let's
my
see for
opinion.
now.
You get to have your own. It's gonna be wrong, but you can have your own.
We'll see. We also, one thing I do want to finish is the spaceship exploration.
Floor 7 and 6.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that in a while. Oh yeah, because one of us was gone for 3 weeks, abandoning the rest of us. Which one of us was that?
But we still gotta continue that too. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Maybe for now, first Higurashi, then continue that.
You will see it in the schedule when we update it tomorrow. Promise.
Basically that.
Pinky swear, people. Oh, wait, if I do it like this, you can hardly see my pinky. Someone playing Mega Man. So Tifa is going to play the Mega Man X games out of order, because that's just how Tifa rolls, and she's going to stream Mega Man X7 on Tuesday.
I was gonna do 9.
There is no X9.
No, just 9.
I've already done 9.
So? But I haven't.
Yeah, but Tifa...
I mean, it all looks the same, but I haven't.
Yeah, but Tifa, when you play 9 and then you go, a blue robot? So derivative of other games other people have made that I have perchance perceived through mine own eyes.
I actually only know 2 blue robots, so it's not that bad yet.
Okay, what, 2 blue robots?
Yeah.
Okay, which ones?
Mega Man.
Yeah, okay.
And Jenny.
Oh, Dexter's Laboratory.
What? No.
What is she from? I remember...
With disrespect, Jenny has her own show.
What's it called? Jenny the Robot. My Life as a Teenage Robot. Yes, that's what. But there was a crossover episode with Dexter.
I don't know. What's
There
that?
has to be. I remember that.
I don't think there was. Oh, there's a lot of
It
fan
hasn't
art.
happened. It's a popular idea. Mandela effect in my brain. JX9. Possibly.
That actually would have been a really cool idea.
In my brain, the 2 art styles are very similar. That's why I just mashed them together.
Fair enough. I really enjoyed that show back then.
I don't recall anything about it other than there being a blue girl robot.
Fair enough. I mean, that is
Wow.
the main thing.
Wow, My Life as a Teenage Robot? Stolen from Capcom much? Let me guess, she also used to do like household chores? Yeah?
Actually, no.
Shit. Okay, maybe it's not the same thing as Mega Man. Does she have a brother who has an unstable nuclear engine core?
Oh, yes.
Proto Man! Ha! Wherever is... You get it.
Anyway. Sitting, doing the zo.
Wow, ending streams just like everybody else. So derivative.
But I'm not selling this as a plot twist.
Oh yeah, true, you said it's all plot twists related.
This is the we know Keiichi is coming to Hinamizawa.
But he's already there.
Yeah, and I've already ended stream.
What? Now she's pressing the button. Thank you everybody for suffering the buffering with us. We'll be back on Tuesday with you. We'll see you in the schedule when we post it. See you next week. Love you all. Bye.